Hello everybody, welcome to Performance Audio's 40-year anniversary showcase. I am Eric Mueller. I'm with Chauvet Professional. I'm a business development manager for Central, U.S. and the Rocky Mountain States. Today we're going to go over a few things. I have in front of us the Ovation, a couple Ovation fixtures, as well as an Ovation ellipsoidal. I also have our Colorado 3 Solo that we're going to be taking a look at. I have some Maverick fixtures, new Maverick product, a new road wash, and of course our video wall. We just purchased, for those who don't know, we just purchased Kansas. They're a lighting console manufacturer out of Southampton, UK. And I'll go over a few of the products that we sell through Kansas. Digging right into it, let's go. First off, we're going to go up to the front here. What you're looking at with this fixture, this is our Ovation. It's a Batten unit. This is going to be for your wall washes and for general front wash if you want from a front batten. What you're looking at is our 1-foot batten. This is the B565. Everything in our product line has numbers and or names that specify the product. This is no different. The B565 is 56 5-color, that's 565, 8-watt LEDs. Red, green, blue, amber, and lime. Very powerful unit. This unit has 2 options of input and output for data. It is 5-pin, 3-pin. They are parallel for DMX. As well, with this unit, you have EtherCon in and through. What that allows you to do, the EtherCon allows you to do your home run from your front of house with a Cat5 cable, ArtNet, or streaming ACN, and then DMX from there, that first fixture to other fixtures. Or you can go EtherCon through from one fixture to another. Totally up to you. This unit here, 565, does have a diffusion filter on the front of it. The diffusion filter does come off, comes with, does come off. So if you're looking to graze a wall, you would use the diffusion filter. What that would do is homogenize these LEDs coming out so you don't have that typical rainbow effect at the first foot of your wall. It would homogenize that to make it nice and clean all the way up the wall. No rainbow effect. If you need the output, just take the diffusion filter out. You'll probably gain 30% more output. You are going to have a smaller beam angle at that point, though. Just something to keep in mind.
What was the beam angle?
The beam angle for with the field angle for the unit with the diffusion is 52 degrees, without 35 degrees. Now the Batten, we do have 2 other units in that same form factor. We have a 4-foot unit. It's the 1965. It is it's a 1965, then 196 5-color 8-watt LEDs. It's a 4-foot traditional batten, as well as a 6-foot batten. That's it's the 2805 280 5-color 8-watt LEDs. Very powerful unit. They all come with the diffusion filter, and they all come with the 5-pin, 3-pin, and the EtherCon in and through. Now these units do as well have power linking. So you can go in one side, out the other for power. Depending on the unit is how many units you can power link. From there we'll go over to the left side, to our new, this guy right here. This is our new Ovation C 805FC. That's 80 LEDs. The unit itself is full RGB amber line color mixing. You can control the top pod and the bottom pod separately when it comes to color as well. You can control the focus of the top and bottom pods separately. So if you're actually washing a cyc, you can control the bottom half of the cyc with the bottom unit, and then control a little bit higher up with the top pod. This unit has power in and through, as well as 3-pin, 5-pin in and through. Moving on, we're going to go over here to our Ovation E-Series. This is what I'm showing you here is our Ovation E260. This unit, we actually have, I should mention, we actually have 4 fixtures in the E-Series line of Ovation. The E160, that is an LED source. It has the output power of a 575 watt source 4, an incandescent source, but it's an LED. It does have 3-pin and 5-pin paralleled, in 3, out 5 if need be in a pinch, as well as all of the other E-Series have that. The second fixture in the line is the ED190. The ED190 is that same 575 output, but in a mains dimmable version. Everybody should know, traditionally you cannot mains dim an LED. With the ED190, we do have the power supply to allow for that. Above that is our E260, which you're seeing here. The E260 is our 750 watt incandescent equivalent source 4. We have 3 units in the 260 line. We have the E260 warm white, which is your traditional 32, it's around 3250 Kelvin, or 3150 Kelvin, my apologies. In a warm white unit, single source. We have another one, the E260 cool white, that's around 5400 Kelvin. We also have the E910 FC. The E910 takes on the traditional RGB amber line in our full colors, and it is actually 91 3 watt LEDs, RGB amber line. All of the units do have a couple of features. Our full color units in the 910, it does have your typical 40-45 Roscoe, popular Roscoe colors already blended. We do give you the R factor as well as the name of the gel in that macro. All of the E-Series products do have pulse width modulation. What is that? Pulse width modulation is if you're in a high-def broadcast situation and you will have flicker with more of the high-def cameras, we can actually match the hertz rate of your camera so you have 0 flicker at all, which is pretty cool. This unit here, your warm white, 3150 Kelvin output of a 750 watt incandescent source. Not only that, we do have this unit in an IP version. So if you're using the unit outside, you're going to have some rain, whatever, you want to use it permanently outside, you use our C-tronic connector. It's an IP rated power cable with a connector on the end of it, and we do sell IP rated 5-pin cables. It has a little ring on the front so you can actually plug into the light and you have a seal around the 5-pin connector.
Is that all 3 fixtures in that line?
No, the IP is just in the 260.
So all 3 260s then?
Just the IP version of the 260.
Okay, just one.
Mm-hmm. The one unit, yes sir.
So is it white only or is it the RGB one?
It is white only. It is a warm white unit. On top of the ellipsoidals, we do have, I don't have them with me, but we do have a couple of Fresnels in the line, and we do have a house light that's on its way, which is going to be pretty cool. The house light being RGB amber line in that full color range as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn these off. 1 second.
With the Fresnel, are you going to have an IP version of that as well, or is it?
With the Fresnel, not that I'm aware of as of this point. Okay, so the Colorado series, this guy. What you're looking at is our Colorado 3 Solo. A great unit. We do have 4 fixtures in the new Solo series of products. We have the brand new M Solo, which is a 40 watt single LED, COB LED. We also have the Colorado 1 Solo that gives you one single 60-watt Cobb LED. You also have the Colorado 2 Solo. Colorado 2 Solo is 3 40-watt LEDs, 120 watts total. And then you have the Colorado 3 Solo that is 3 60-watt LEDs. That is RGBW on all of these guys. This is 180 watts total. Now I will say, in the Colorado Solo series, we are full IP rated. We are using the C-Tronic connector for power. And again, using the 5-pin IP rated DMX cables, you can go in and out, use this guy outside. It's very powerful. All of the fixtures are within a zoom range for around 7 to 49 degrees. Some are 8 to 50 degrees. The actual smallest zoom we have is in that small little M series, and it's 5 to 25 degrees. All of them, again, IP rated. You can use them outdoor. If you don't want to use them outdoor, don't use an IP rated 5-pin cable. Use your regular 5-pin cable. 5-pin in and through, as well, power, linking, power in and through. Depending on the unit, will depend on how many fixtures you can actually power up. Cool? Colorado series, great product. So we have really actually any fixture you need for your scenario. We really have it when it comes to output and zoom range. Questions on this guy? Okay. We do also have a couple other fixtures still in our Colorado series. We just came out with the Colorado 2 Quad Zoom recently. It is as well an IP rated unit. And it is actually, instead of the COB chips, with those we're using quad LEDs, RGB and W. There's 14, 15 watt quad LEDs in the Colorado 2 Quad Zoom. So if you need something a little more powerful than the 180 watts out of the Colorado Solo, and you don't mind what's coming out of the front of the light, because it's going to homogenize before it gets to the performer, you can actually use the Colorado Zoom, get a little over 200 watts out of that unit. Okay. All right, let's move. I'm going to go over here to the lighting console, and we'll show you a couple of the Maverick series products. All right, first in the line. This is going to be our Maverick MK1 Hybrid. A very, very powerful unit. I want to mention all of our Maverick series products, when it comes to the outside of the unit, are all identical. We have 3-pin and 5-pin connection on the back, paralleled, so you can go in 3, out 5 if need be. We also have wireless on board, WDMX for wireless. We also have Ethercon, just like with the Batten series and the Ovation, Ethercon in and through. So plenty of options if you want, like when we get to the wash light, fully pixel mappable unit. You can get well over 200 channels of DMX if you're individually pixel mapping. So that Ethercon really comes in handy for your ArtNet streaming ACN. All of the units as well have a front display. The front display is a nice readable OLED display. It's not you're not trying to encrypt something from the unit. It's there, it's legible, as well it's a touchscreen. So instead of toggling up your DMX address to 220, you can actually type in 220 for the DMX address and you're good to go. As well, for those that are wearing gloves, or if you don't like a touchscreen, we do have up, down, right, left, and inner toggle keys. We do have as well the ability on board to select a program that will flip the display when you flip the fixture, so you're always reading the front of the display instead of trying to read it upside down. On top of that, we do have a battery on board for all of these units, so if you find yourself in a pinch, you don't have power yet, you can actually go into the fixture, do your addressing, select your personalities without power with that lithium-ion battery. Once you plug it in, the battery will recharge. All of the units as well have RDM on board. So remote device management, you can control anything in the display from the console, changing address, changing personality, etc. Let's get back to the hybrid. The hybrid's an impressive 440 watts. It is a 440 watt Osram Cirrus lamp. It is not an LED. We have six fixtures, I believe 6 fixtures in our arsenal that are not LED. If it says beam or if it says hybrid, it is an arc source. It's not an LED. Everything else in the Chauvet Professional line is LED. All right, we'll go through the hybrid real quick. MK1 hybrid. We have in this guy full color mixing, cyan, magenta, yellow color mixing. We do have another hybrid unit, the RH1 hybrid, that does not have color mixing, does not have a few other features in its light, brings that price down a little bit. So if you don't need color mixing, you can deal with the 330 watt source. The RH1 hybrid might be more in line for you. It is a hybrid unit, so beam, spot, and wash unit. So we have full CMY color mixing. We do have a total of 15 colors on 3 separate wheels, which is the cyan, magenta, and yellow wheel. At the end of those, we also have a total of 18 gobos on a metal wheel. We'll go through those. The first 4 are more beam reduction. Now this is not in beam mode yet. You will see it in beam mode at the end. Much brighter, and that light is actually going to be a lot narrower in beam mode. This is just regular spot mode we're going in. We'll go through the first 4 are beam reduction. Then you have your gobos. Again, this is stamped metal wheel. And for those that are out in Facebook land, if there's anything that you would like to see, I'm going to be here for the rest of today, and I will be here tomorrow as well. Come on by, and I'll give you a full rundown of any of these lights that we're showing. I have a 20-minute timeline. I might get there actually earlier because I'm going pretty fast. Okay, so 18 gobos. We're going through them. Stamped metal wheel. The wheel does rotate, as well as it does have the infamous wobble effect that very few people use. We do have a rotating wheel. The rotating wheel is 6 gobos, fully indexable, rotatable, and interchangeable. These are glass. In a unit like this, probably best to have glass. We also have on board 2 different prisms and an animation wheel. I'll go through those 3. This first is the 8-faceted circular prism. These give great aerial effects. You could zoom out, cover a nice wide area with breakups. I don't know if the camera can see the ceiling, but we're using right now our animation wheel. The animation wheel gives you great effects like fire, like water, as well as can, with the prism in, give some breakups that are just phenomenal. We also have that second prism, which is a 4-faceted linear prism. So we have an 8-faceted circular prism and a 4-faceted linear prism. All rotatable and indexable. And you can use them together. You can throw in the 4 and the 8, and you start getting into some crazy stuff. I told you about beam mode. Do I want to burn the ceiling? For those that can't see, I got a pinpoint on the ceiling right now. It's 1 degree beam angle, 1 degree beam angle. We'll go through these. Now, there are certain features in beam mode because you have everything open, no filters in the optical path that you cannot put in, such as the rotating gobos, such as the prisms. This is just more of your, I want beams and I want to throw them. Very powerful. I think the light output here is probably double that of spot mode, which, I mean, easily. Very tight beam, that's what a beam should be, right? Rotation of the wheel itself. You do have in spot mode, I guess I didn't have it in here, you have actually 3 to 18 degrees of zoom in spot mode. That is our MK1 hybrid. Again, for those that want to see more, please come on by. I will be here the rest of today and tomorrow. Happy to show anything. Let's go to the next guy. Another Maverick unit. This is our MK1 spot. We do have as well an MK2 spot. And I'll give a little bit of things that the MK1 spot's missing. Now again, the MK1 spot is more in that budget, that more economical state. We did have to take some things out of the MK2 to actually get there. And I'll explain here in a second. The MK1 spot is a 350 watt cool white LED. It is around 6,800 Kelvin cool white. We do have in this unit full CMY color mixing on flags. We also have 7 colors on a color wheel. The 7 colors, we do include a CTO on the color wheel. One of the differences between the MK2 spot and the MK1 spot is the MK2 spot has a variable color flags. So you have CMY and variable CTO. On this guy, you take out the CTO variable, and we give you the CTO on the color wheel. Full rotation and split colors on the color wheel. You can index where you want that split color to be, which is pretty cool. Let's go to the gobos. In this light, we have 2 gobo wheels. We have one fixed wheel, and we have one rotating indexable and interchangeable wheel. The fixed wheel offers 7 gobos. In this wheel, we have more breakups than anything. And then you have the rotating wheel. The rotating wheel is also 7 gobos, but these you can rotate, index, and interchange. These are glass. That's my probably my most favorite gobo right there. I don't know if the camera can see that. It's a wonderful, wonderful gobo. It's actually an architectural glass gobo. It's pretty cool. This light does have as well the infamous wobble effect and rotation of the wheel itself on both wheels. We also offer 16 leaf iris, trying to get as close as we can to that full circle and not a stop sign of the typical 8 leaf irises that are out there at this time. 16 leaf does get us a little bit closer. We do have macros on board for ramps, pulsing, snaps, etc. On top of that, we do have a zoom. The zoom range in this guy is 7 to 33 degrees. Pretty powerful. We also have a prism. 3-facet prism, fully indexable and rotatable. So you can rotate the prism itself and then rotate the gobo. And every time you change a speed, you're getting a new look. If you'll notice the front of the light, what we're actually doing in this light, as well as the MK2 spot, we have a virtual strobe. What that does, we take the cluster of those LEDs, we cut them in half, oscillate power from one side to the other, and you get this animation type effect. You can do flutter type effects, or if you want, you can actually crossfade from one side to another. This is pretty cool if you're lighting up scenery or if you're lighting up walls and you do a very slow crossfade from one side to another with the right gobo. It almost looks like the wall is breathing. It's very cool. All right, like that. I'm going slow back and forth. You'll notice for those that are in here, you can see just slow, subtle movements. Very cool.
We have a question on Facebook.
Okay.
What's the beam angle on the Colorados?
Oh, the Colorados. They're all within or a little bit outside. 7 to 49 degrees. I thought I mentioned that, but it's okay. 7 to 49 degrees. Some are 8 to 48. Some are 8 to 50. Our smallest unit, I want to say, is 5 to 25 degrees. That's the M Solo, the new light. Hope that helps. Very powerful zooms. Now, obviously, if you're using the Colorado 1 Solo, I should go back to this. If you're using the Colorado 1 Solo and you're at 30 foot, you definitely don't want to zoom out all the way, because we all know once you go into zooming, that light from an LED source can be lost rather quickly. So definitely know the product for the use. If I'm out at 30 foot, I'm going to go to a Colorado 2 Solo or a Colorado 3 Solo if I want to zoom out quite a bit. I know I'll still get the output. Okay? I hope I answered the question. You can also find that information at our website, chauvetprofessional.com. And as well, when I start talking about video, we do have chauvetvideo.com that you could go to check out the products. Okay, that was the MK1 spot. Same feature set on the outside of that guy. Next, we're going to move over here to everybody's right side. We're going to look at the Maverick MK3 wash. The Maverick MK3 wash, what do you say? Okay, so we took the Maverick MK2 wash and we added another ring of 40 watt LEDs, and now we have 27 40 watt LEDs. This is a very powerful unit. A little over 1,000 watts of power coming out of this guy. Okay? You have full RGB W color mixing. Red, green, blue. Just doing some color mixing. There's white. Anybody see that? Did everybody see that? 7 to 49 degree zoom. Very intense. Cover a lot of area. This is going to be for big events, bigger mega churches. Long throw is what you're looking for with this guy. Not to mention, sorry about that, this guy is fully pixel mappable. You're a little bit over 200 channels of DMX if you're in full pixel mapping mode. You can put these guys together and run Leroy's video. That's how, I mean, individual control is individual control of your pixel mapping. You do, as well, have a background color that you can play with. Well, so you can, here's what I'll say. If you're not into over 200 DMX channels, use our basic. Our basic, we give you macros on board that, this is basic, is what you're seeing. We're giving you some virtual gobos, if you will, that you can play with, control the speed, control crossfade or snapping from one to another, control background colors. You can do everything in basic mode. At that point, you're around 29 channels of DMX.
So
That is the MK3 wash,
So I've
yes.
got another question off Facebook. What
Question.
are the IP ratings on the fixtures? Which Colorados did you show again? Is what's coming off of Facebook?
Roger that. So I have to assume we're talking about the Colorado series.
Yep.
In the Colorado series, the Solo series is IP65. That is outdoor use. What was the other question on that?
And which Colorado did you show?
The Colorado I showed was the Colorado 3 Solo. I will mention as well that the other unit I talked about, the Colorado 2 Quad Zoom, is also IP65.
Perfect, thank you.
But in my hand, I had the Colorado 3 Solo. Okay, we'll go to really what I would call the last guy in my moving arsenal right now. This is our brand new R3 wash. This is from the Rogue series. What did we do? Oh, powerful again. What did we do? We took the R2 wash and added another ring of LEDs. So we went from 19 15-watt quad LEDs to 37 15-watt quad LEDs, same LEDs, a little over 550 watts of power. Red, green, blue, little color mixing, white, zoom. Again, another one that is, I should go back one step, 7 to 49 degrees on this guy. On the MK3 wash, my apologies, 7 to 45. Not that it matters that much, but I should be right on it. Here we go. This, instead of pixel mapping, we actually, like in our Rogue R2 wash, we have 5 segments of pixel mapping, or eye candy, if you will, 5 different segments. What we did with this guy, we added that extra ring and added 4 more segments to play with for that eye candy. So now you have a total of 9 individual segments you can play with, as you see here. And you do still have the foreground, background. Again, in basic mode, we have macros. So if you don't want to have individual control per se of each quadrant, you can use the macros. We'll give you some animated gobos or some virtual gobos, quote unquote, and you can control the speed, the fade times, and the foreground, background colors. Questions on these guys? And those out in Facebook land, if you do have a question, no problem. I will go back to it. I'm going to step up real quick to our video now. Zev, I think you could, don't worry about it. Okay. All right. This guy here is our F as in Frank 3 video wall. What it is a 3.9 millimeter indoor video wall. The unit itself, again, not IP rated. We do have an F4 IP wall that is for indoor, outdoor, seasonal use, and that is a 4.8 millimeter pixel pitch. Now, for those that don't know much about video, the way to see what kind of video you need in your certain scenario is to figure out what your closest viewing distance is. Take the millimeters of the pixel pitch, whether it be 3.9, 5.3, whatever the case may be, turn the millimeters into meters. That will give you around the closest viewing distance for that particular wall. That is when all the pixels fade away and it becomes one true picture, right? Everybody good with that? Okay, the F3 wall, this is 1500 nits. What you're seeing here is 35% output on this wall. I will turn it up to 100, but this is just 35%. Most people with these types of video walls think they need 100%, but when they get the wall and they actually install it, they're probably down between 30 and 45% of output. Obviously, the reason being, the LEDs are coming at your eye, and it's not a projector projecting onto a screen that's coming back at you, right? So a projector and a screen is going to be far less intense in output, maybe a little better resolution, but a lot of people nowadays with ambient light issues are going to video wall because they know even when lights are hitting it, they will actually see what is being projected from the wall. Now our 3 mil, one thing to note, this guy is full surface mountable. So you can mount it straight up to a wall. And the way you would get to it is we do have a tool that goes onto the front of the wall, pull it straight from the front. You do have access to the power supply in the back if need be. There are 4 quadrants of modules in each panel. Okay? So if something were to happen, an LED goes out or whatnot, that happens, you can actually pull this guy out from the front or from the back. If you have room in the back, you can do that as well. Put in a replacement module while the other one's at our office getting fixed, and you're good to go. The way our processors work with the Nova Star is what we're using as our backbone for processing. The modules themselves are not what's holding the memory of where it is in the chain of the video wall. It's actually the power supplies, not the power supplies, but the brain in the top box that's holding that memory. So with these walls, instead of having to, for those who have had walls, instead of having to, you have the middle section go out, you have to take out 3 or 4 panels to get to that. You no longer have to do that with this guy. These panels are meter by half meter. So the used to be 19.7 inches square in most of our panels. Now we're going to the meter by half meter scenario. There are 4 of those quadrants in each panel. Okay, let me go over here. I should mention as well that the 4IP as well as the F3 do have secondary power supplies. So if one power supply ever happens to fail, the other power supply will kick in. You won't lose your whole wall. You will lose half of the one panel that you have, but everything beyond that you will still have in your show, which is great because you don't want to be in a scenario where one little power supply goes out and your whole wall goes out. Not good. Go ahead. For the churchgoers out there. Let's see.
So two more questions on Facebook while you're doing that.
Yeah.
One, somebody said, I know you said F3, but it said F4. Is it just me?
It is not just you.
Okay.
Stand by. What's happening there? It is not just you. We actually did have an F4 panel. The F4 panel is no longer. It's been discontinued. And that's when this video was made, was when we had the F4 panel. We do have the F4 IP, like I said, but we actually had a panel that was this exact panel, but in a 4.8 pixel pitch. And when I say exact panel, I mean everything except for the modules was identical. So we actually got a pretty good offer for the to go to the F3.9, the F3, so we took that, discontinued the F4.
Another question is, what software are you using for editing?
For editing, that is, we don't offer software for editing.
Or what software are you using to run the video content?
I'm actually using Archaos. We do sell a Archaos Media Master Express, not the full-blown. A lot of churches are using ProPresenter, which is great, which is fine, works with our, really anything, Resolume, Hippo, they all work in conjunction with our wall.
And then the last one says, what's the warranty on the LED screen if you have an issue?
Surely. The warranty is 2 years for the panel. and 1 year for the hardware. The hardware being the rigging hardware. The hardware being the processor. That's 1 year. 2 years on the panel itself. And 2 years being on all of our products. 2 years, that's parts and labor. That means if something were to happen within 2 years, you send it to us, we fix it, we send it back to you on our dime. Fix it for free, send it back to you on our dime. Now, we do have a policy as well. I guess it's a little less known, but we do have a swap policy within the first 30 days. We will take care of swapping out a fixture if there were any issues. So my task to you is, please, when you get your fixtures, doesn't matter if it's my product, doesn't matter if it's my competitor's product, open the box, turn it on right when you get it, let it run for a couple hours, because usually if you're going to have any issues, it's going to be probably within the first couple of hours of use. All right? Just from me to you. All right. So that's video. If there are any more questions, again, out in Facebook land, please let me know. I'm going to move on. Most of you may have heard or may not have heard, we bought a lighting console manufacturer. The lighting console manufacturer is Kansas. They are out of Southampton, UK. I have actually the pleasure, this being my second time selling Kansas. Great product. If you don't know enough about it, please go to kansasusa.com and download the free software. When it comes to setting up a show, when it comes to just all-around intuitiveness and ease of use, this is a wonderful console for you to use. Now we have 4 different consoles that are actual consoles. We do have PC solutions. We do have 4 universe boxes, peripherals. But for consoles themselves, we have 3 consoles in our compact line, and we have our stadium console. The 3 consoles in the compact line are the Kansas MQ40N, the MQ60, and the MQ80. The difference between them, not much. They do have actually the same layout where buttons are concerned on the console. The main difference is a smaller screen, and it is a touch screen on the MQ40 and the 60 than that of the MQ80. It's a little bigger as well. The MQ40N has 4 universes of DMX. The MQ60 has 12 universes. The MQ80 has 24 universes.
We do have a question.
We have a question.
From Jaden.
Jaden.
What's the warranty on the LED screen if you have an issue?
We've
Warranty?
got that one already.
Warranty on the LED screen? Nope, it's not a problem. It's 2 years for the panel, 1 year for all the peripherals, for the processor, etc. And again, with video wall, it's actually a little bit easier. Most of the time, you shouldn't have a problem, but if you do have an LED go out, again, you can pop out that module without having to take the whole panel down. Always, always, always get 1 or 2 spares. Pop out that module, put another module in, send that to us on your dime. We'll fix it, send it back to you on our dime for 2 years.
Another question.
Another question.
Swap. What's that?
Another question.
Oh, they said no question. I was like, oh. Swap policy in the first 30 days, is that an advance replacement?
Very good question. Very good question. It's not something that we are going to, I guess, post out there. If there's a big enough issue, and most of the time, people know they may have a little bit of time, we can get it swapped out. Most of our policy is about y'all sending that to us, and then us sending you a new one once we get the tracking. Usually, if you're on the ball and we're on the ball, you could actually package that package up, take it to FedEx with our call tag within the first 30 days, our call tag, give it to FedEx, they'll scan it, we'll know it's been scanned and it's on its way to us. Most of the time, that next day, we can send another one out to you.
Second part to that question.
Second part.
Is that policy with any Chauvet Professional products and Kansas?
Kansas, I will say, is a little new, obviously, so I can't answer that. To be quite honest, I can't answer the warranty as of right now on the Kansas. I believe it's 1 year. but I have to double check that. But I will say for the Kansas, that's set aside. I can't answer that. For the Chauvet Professional products, yes, 30 days. Not 31 days, 30 days. Very strict about that. Okay, any more questions? I gotta go back real quick to the Kansas. We have our fourth console that is our stadium console. This guy, freaking awesome. The Stadium 500, the MQ 500, 200 universes out of the console. Now, the big thing about the Kansas consoles, it's total open source. You don't need to buy our widgets to add extra universes. You could actually get Chauvet Professional's NetX. It's 8 universes, ArtNet to DMX. Use that. Total open source. You can use anything out there. Intech dongles, whatever you want. 200 universes from the console. The console itself does not have all the bells and whistles of one of my competitors that has the shock screens and the faders that do this. It doesn't have all that, but there's a reason. Price out the console and you'll see. Full HD screens on the MQ500. It does have kind of like the GUI of an iPod, where you can manipulate the plot and all that via your fingers. Zoom in, zoom out. And when it comes to programming these, probably the easiest you're going to be able to control. One thing about the console, it is Chameleon systems. Chameleon being obviously something that adapts to the environment. Same with these consoles. The software is based off of a Linux kernel, which means you can actually run the console via Linux, via PC, or via Mac, and cross-load those shows from any of those sources. That's huge. The software is forward and backward compatible, so you could run a show 3 years, and then you want to go back 5 years you can actually go back 5 years. Now you will lose some of those features that were added up into them, but you can if you wanted to. You have a show, 3 years later you want to run the same show, you can. That's huge too. Forward and backward compatible. Any more questions? Okay. That's what I have. Again, I will say again, I'm here the rest of the day, and I will be here all day tomorrow. For those of you who want to ask some more questions, please come by. I'll give you the gamut of these again. We'll show them in person.
Where are we at? Where are we at? Performance Audio.
Oh yes, Performance Audio. I'm sorry, it's their 40th anniversary. This is what is it? A full week of showcases or
Full month for ProTech Marketing.
Oh, it's a full month. ProTech Marketing, who is our rep in the area, Paco is here with me, is setting up shows all month. So stay tuned for, after tomorrow when we're gone. Obviously, somebody else will come in our place and the show product. It's great. Signing out.
Stand by. Stand by.
Standing by to stand by.
Kill it.